She's human. It's mate that we have her. She's here. She's really here. We have to take her home. Dax purred, wagging his tail and prancing all around my mind like an excited puppy.
I can't turn back and I can't go forward, I'm cornered. Angelica, get back here right fucking now. Jade's voice echoed in the early morning air and I lifted my gaze to the sunrise through the trees. It hardly lit the sky, but it was beautiful. Birds started chirping all around and a small breeze rolled through, planting a tiny smile on my lips at the sight and feel of being free. After 10 years, I finally taste freedom. Closing my eyes, I inhaled the fresh scent of nature and let my tears dry out. The beautiful sounds around me melted away all fear and anxiety I was feeling, from the rush of the waterfall to the chirping and flapping of the birds. I wish I were a bird. So I jumped.
Axel Moretti's POV. I crossed out the page and slammed the pen down, lifting my bored gaze to the moron sitting across from me. He eyed the paper and swallowed, his jaw tightening in annoyance upon seeing my rejection. I'm a bit offended you thought I was idiotic enough to sign this, Alpha Terry. I shot him a flat look, leaning back in the chair and rubbing my chin. He looked down in shame and I narrowed my eyes at him. What? You have nothing to say. I might be young, but did you really think I'd give up the most valuable piece of my land in exchange for 5 new warriors? Trainees to be exact. I'll give you Seve, he started, shutting his mouth when I put up my hand. Enough, I growled, turning my attention to the window to admire one of the many beautiful sunrises the spring brings. It calms me drastically when morons like this come in here mocking my intelligence. Alpha Moretti, he was cut off again when the door opened and my beta rushed in covered in water, but there was something different about his scent that made my wolf unsettled. I don't mean to interrupt, Alpha, but this is an emergency that I need to talk to you, like, now. He breathed. Terry sensed the urgency and surprisingly caught the hint, standing up and giving me a nod before leaving the room. I rolled my eyes and ran a hand down my face. What now? I sighed, watching him drip water all over my wooden flooring as he opened his mouth with hand movements. However, no words seemed to make it over his tongue. Don't get mad, but... He managed to spit out, inhaling deeply. I found your mate last night, so I followed her into a store with Liam and I think we scared her, but I didn't say anything because I thought my wolf made a mistake until just now I happened to be on a run and seen her fall down the waterfall, so I ran to her before she hurt herself and now she's unconscious in my room because I don't know what else to do with her. He replied all in one sentence, panting afterward with a nervous smile. My body stiffened and my wolf snarled, clawing his way to control, but I kept him back. My mate. I glared, disbelieving his ramble. I was supposed to find her years ago, but I didn't. Even after traveling pack to pack lining up every mateless female, I was unsuccessful. How could he mistakenly find her? Is she rogue? Show me. I got off my chair and followed him out of my office, making our way down the hall and up a flight of stairs. We reached his room and he opened the door, except my wolf was furious to find her curled up on the floor. I growled threateningly and he widened his eyes. I didn't want her in my bed because she's wet, besides, you would have killed me for rubbing my scent on her. Just leave, I snarled, sending him running down the hall with a few stumbles as he tripped over himself. I then took a deep breath and entered the room, closing the door behind me and frowning at the foreign scent emitting from her. She's human. It's mate that we have her. She's here. She's really here. We have to take her home. Dax purred, wagging his tail and prancing all around my mind like an excited puppy. Ignoring him, I quietly made my way over to her sleeping figure and knelt down, softly peeling the wet hair off her cheek and clenching my jaw at the sight of her scathed face. She was as pale as a vampire and her face was covered in small, dark cuts. There was also a bruise covering her right cheek. My wolf started growling and I blocked him out before I lost control. I don't know anything about her kind aside from the fact they're fragile beings. If she fell in the water, the rocks definitely busted her up. The river is dangerous for even us and we're much stronger. If Blaine didn't get to her when he did, I'm sure she would have died, and the thought alone put both me and my wolf in a frenzy.